Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. Our next guest needs little introduction. Former anchor of the CBS Evening News and a 60 Minutes correspondent, Scott Pelley. Scott, thanks for being with us today. We're going to talk about your new book you have coming out called A Truth Worth Telling. And it's a little different than many memoirs that journalists write. It's not focused on you. Tell us why you did that and who this book is about.
Well, John, I knew I wanted to write a memoir, but I didn't want to write a memoir about me because I didn't figure anybody would care about that. But it did occur to me that I had met the most fascinating people in the world in my career at 60 Minutes and at the CBS Evening News, and that they showed incredible values during some of the most dramatic events of our times. So many of the chapters are titled after values. For example, chapter 1 in the book is entitled Gallantry, and it's about what I saw on 9/11 at the World Trade Center with the firefighters who had gave their lives just against the chance of saving someone else.
A lot of times as journalists, we're sent to situations that are not always the best. A lot of times it's people's hardest point in their life that they're dealing with. Do you think that brings out the best in people or the worst?
Oh, I think it typically brings out the best in people, and you've seen this in your career too, John. For example, another chapter in the book is called Selflessness, and it's about a nurse that I met at a combat hospital in Iraq. There was a young Marine who was bleeding to death in the operating room. I was standing in the operating room as 5 surgeons were working on him at one time. He went through all the blood in the blood bank. A nurse came in and said, "There's not any more." And the nurse who was running the OR said, "I'll get more." And I thought, what is she talking about? I'll get more. There isn't any more. And I chased her out of the room, out of the tent, actually, into the next tent, which was the blood bank. By the time I got there, she had opened her own veins and was bleeding into bags that were going back into this young Marine. And then they put the all call out on the base, and 100 people came running to give blood, and they saved that young man's life. So I think it's exactly in these historic moments that people show the best that we can be.
Absolutely. You've done a lot of reporting overseas on conflicts that the U.S. has been involved in. How has that shaped your view of how you view the United States and how people from around the world see our country as well?
You know, I can tell you, I've been to the Arctic and the Antarctic and everywhere in between, and America, without a doubt, is the most admired country in the world. That has never changed in the 40 years that I've been traveling around the world. But with regard to the conflicts you were talking about, I went to Afghanistan 10 times. I went to Iraq 26 times. And in covering those wars, I was able to see how the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces really represent our best values. Even when they're sent overseas because of flawed policies in Washington, they do their best to make the most of every situation.
What would you say the current climate of journalism is here in the United States?
John, I was walking down the street the other day and somebody stopped me and said, "Oh, this must be a terrible time to be a reporter." And I said, "No, this is a great time to be a reporter, because at this moment we're being scrutinized by the American people so that we can show them what we do, how we do it, what our values are." There is no democracy without journalism. It can't be done. James Madison said that the freedom of speech and freedom of the press are the rights that guarantee all the others. Madison and the founders, one of them named John Adams, by the way, they gave us the power over the government. And the only way we can exercise that power is with independent, reliable information. One of the reasons America is great is because we have the best journalism in the world.
Scott, last question I want to ask you today. Who are we as Americans? What have you learned in your career? How has it changed your opinion on us as Americans, and who are we now?
Who are we now, and who do we aspire to be? A very, very good question. You know, John, we are now living in a moment where the truth can be seen to be, can seem to be a lie, and a lie can seem to be the truth. And I think that as Americans, we need to be very careful about how we consume the news and where we get our news. Because if properly informed, I think the American people always do the right thing. That's what the stories are about in this book. You'll see it again and again throughout the book, are people caught in history's biggest wind shears and yet coming through and doing their best for their fellow Americans. America is the most generous country in the world. And you'll see that in this book and in these stories. I hope if people are beginning to feel a little off balance because of the kind of rhetoric they're seeing coming out of Washington, this will remind them of what bedrock Americans are all about.
The book is a truth worth telling. Scott, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be with you, John. Thank you.
We'll be back with more Ozarks Tonight after this.